onto a unexpected announcement being an Insomniac title as well. And people, when I saw people's live reactions, they thought this was Spider-Man 2, but it was like, nah, bro, this is something else. It's Marvel's Wolverine. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wolverine, X-Men are back.
Yeah.
They are back in the mainstream. Wolverine is representing the return of mutant kind from the shadows. After years of neglect in literally every form of media, bunch of shitty movies, you know, literally no presence in video games. I guess
He had a good movie,
Wolverine
though. It
and
was Logan. You're forgetting that part. Logan was a good movie.
fantastic movie. But let's not get sidetracked.
But I mean, I just wanted to also say this because I remember seeing people's reactions, but it's because they were watching the live stream. People thought this was Spider-Man too, but it was like, oh no, wait! Even when I saw it, I was like, a Wolverine game, and I was like, you have my curiosity. Now you have my full attention, like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah.
So I mean, 54 seconds, nothing to go off of really, because it's a really short, sweet cinematic trailer. Doesn't even show Wolverine's face. Doesn't even show the character's model or anything.
Just some claws, and that's all you need.
The moment he popped them claws, the internet screamed like a bunch of 5-year-old children.
Yeah.
I mean, praise the Lord. I mean,
I love the internet.
I like the opening. It really sets the tone because I kind of thought, if you think about it, right? I know it's a bit obvious you can say the Wolverine because of the back of the character, that kind of like silhouette, that cowboy hat, that long hair, plaid shirt. I kind of thought, if you saw this trailer and didn't know it was Wolverine, I would have thought it was Punisher, and I would have been even like, I would have thrown my freaking chair across the room if that was the case. But I mean, hey, maybe this is a step into a violent, more mature side of Marvel, which I hope is the case. So I'm holding on to hope. We get someone, he's drinking a pint or whatever. I'm glad for some Tamil representation because we got some Tamil lettering or some Tamil words in some of the posters. So I'm glad representation. Notice there's a license plate on the right hand side, which is HLK 181, and that is Hulk Volume 1. I think it's issue 181. That is a reference to the comic where Wolverine first debuted in, and I was like, it's pretty slick.
That's cool. I love it when games do that, I'm such a sucker for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like them subtle, awesome ass Easter eggs.
It's always the number plate.
It's either a number plate or a sticker.
Yeah, like number plate or like street address. 33 Action Comics Lane.
Yeah. If you see the poster, that chalkboard poster that's like up next to like Wolverine, you can see the name Princess Bar. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what the Princess Bar is, maybe you watched a Disney Plus show called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they went to a country called Madripoor. That is a very famous location in Marvel Comics, and the Princess Bar just so happens to be located in Madripoor as well. Wolverine's in Madripoor? Are we going to be going to Insomniac's Madripoor? Do you know what I'm saying? Like right now, you know how hyped I am just saying those words? Insomniac, y'all don't miss. That goes into my theory. This is one of my theories. Is the Wolverine game going to be a globe-trotting type of game? Maybe we're going to go to Madripoor, Japan, New York, X-Mansion.
I think he's only going to be in Madripoor, which I like because you're going to get all of Madripoor and it's going to get real in-depth. And because Madripoor is like, well, to quote Obi-Wan, it's a scum of hive and villainy.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to see all these classic references to X-Men villains, which brings me to a question, Haresh. What sort of classic X-Men characters would you like to see in this game? I know Sabretooth will definitely be in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, thank you, because I was like thinking, who's gonna be Wolverine's kind of like adversary, like your Batman to your Joker?
I think Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister.
Ooh, Mr. Sinister, I'm not sure, because I feel like his character, because he's more involved.
Well, here's the thing about Mr. Sinister. With Mr. Sinister, you bring him in, references, Easter eggs everywhere. You can have something that says, the equation Scott Summers and Jean Grey will equal Cable. Super powerful mutant. I'd love to see a version of his Marauders. I think that'd be a great team to go against.
I mean, I'm just flabbergasted over this trailer, man. But my question is, right, what kind of timeline are we in? Because luckily, I still got that PlayStation blog up.
They are connected to Miles and Peter.
Really? Wait, let's see. Now let's talk about the announcement you probably weren't expecting. Marvel's Wolverine. Back when we were working on Marvel's Spider-Man, there would be times where all of us at Insomniac, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Marvel would brainstorm together about the future beyond the web slinger. I like that right there. Maybe some future setup for other stuff. Maybe. And even in those early discussions, Wolverine continually came up as a character we'd be really stoked to work on together. Fast forward a couple of years, and we're suddenly standing in front of Sony Interactive Entertainment and Marvel formally pitching a PlayStation 5 game starring the adamantium clawed mutant. So many of the Insomniac team are such huge fans of the character, and one of the key elements that drew us to him is surprisingly not that different from Spider-Man. Both heroes feel deeply compelled to defend the people who are less able to do so. Marvel's Wolverine is a standalone game being directed by Brian Horton, creative director, and Cameron Christian, game director, who recently led the creative efforts on Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, a game we're extremely proud of at Insomniac. In the vein of our Spider-Man games, our goal here is to not only respect the DNA of what makes the character so popular, but also look for opportunities to make it feel fresh and truly reflect the Insomniac spirit. Even though Marvel's Wolverine is very early in development, from what I've seen of its emotional narrative and cutting-edge gameplay, the team is already creating something truly special. Being able to build a new original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine is such an honor for so many of us at Insomniac Games. A huge thanks to Sony Interactive Entertainment family for giving us the opportunity to develop these games, Marvel for trusting us with these characters that mean so much to so many people, and of course, our fans for continuing to believe in us.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is
Good to hear.
talk about hearing too much of a good thing. Did we just hear universe connection? Did we just hear connection? Are they connected? We'll see. We'll see. If there's one thing Insomniac knows how to do, it's good Easter eggs.
I'd love to see characters like Nightcrawler or Colossus show up. You know, I love those characters. Colossus is my favorite X-Men. But just to sort of have actual X-Men characters show up and be like, hey, Wolverine, how's it going? Heard you're on this X-Men mission.
Oh, yeah,
You know, just broaden the universe a little. The one concern I have with this game is that too often do X-Men properties just become Wolverine and these other guys. You know, it just becomes Wolverine, the main X-Men, and everyone else is like a side character. So hopefully they do enough to make us care about all the greater characters in this X-Men universe. And knowing Insomniac, I'm sure they will.
And I don't mean this out of like respect, like disrespect to any of the other X-Men characters. I like them, but I don't know. It's just I like Wolverine more. Despite being edgy, I think Wolverine is a character that has heart, a really like human character at moments. He just doesn't like tend to show it a lot, and I like that. It's kind of like a really interesting thing about his character. And I mean, when they said an emotional narrative, I'm getting kind of like Last of Us vibes, like Last of Us 1 type of vibe. So I'm like, I'm kind of excited because I was like, emotional narrative. I'm like, sounds like you guys are gonna be doing some like heavy-handed, mature kind of storytelling.
I really hope it's not like all the X-Men are dead or something. I think it'd be better if maybe Wolverine, because of his violent nature, accidentally took something too far. You know, maybe he was fighting Sabretooth and, I don't know, he killed him or something. I don't know how he killed Sabretooth. He seemingly killed Sabretooth. And the X-Men were like, nah, man, we can't have you on this team. You're out. And he's gonna be all emotional about that. Maybe he quits. Maybe he wants to pursue other stuff. I really hope that it doesn't end up like the X-Men have disbanded, because we just got them back into the mainstream. It'd be a real shame to see them split up.
I know that most of the X-Men stories, at least like some of the X-Men media, like whether it be cartoons and stuff, they always start with that disbanding, like that callous event that disbands the team. But then how they always meet up each other at somehow or other. I kind of like that kind of story in my personal opinion. And I think if they're going for that approach here, or maybe right, this is just the beginning of the X-Men. What if they're not disbanded? It's just Charles Xavier hasn't sought them out yet. So maybe end credit stinger, perhaps like Wolverine's like, I don't know, maybe he's like leaving somewhere. He's like, hey, what are you doing, bub? And then he hears someone saying, Logan, I am James McAvoy. I'm calling you right now. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's either the X-Men are disbanded or the X-Men haven't formed yet.
You know what he could be doing? He might be on the X-Men and he might be on a mission. This idea just came into my head and I think it'd be really cool, because he does this quite often in sort of comics and other media. What if he's hunting Sabretooth or just someone hiding in Madripoor? Because emotional narrative, Sabretooth and Wolverine, they go long back, and maybe he's hunting him, Sabretooth has resurfaced, Wolverine wants to stop him, and he's like, I don't need the X-Men getting in my way. And so he's here on Madripoor, and he's hunting someone.
Well, maybe this is like Wolverine early in his career. Maybe he's like that kind of not human Wolverine, like a guy that maybe he's like doing like task force type of missions. Him and Sabretooth have had a falling out, and the objective, right, or maybe his mission where he has to go kill someone, just so happens to be Sabretooth having to protect his mission, or at least that job he has to go and do. So maybe that's what the emotional tension stems from. Like they have to stop each other because they're both doing their duties, but like what their duties are kind of conflicts with their responsibilities as well. one has to protect, but one has to kill. You know, that kind of story. I think that'll be cool.
Well, the obvious elephant in the room is X-23, because everyone likes Logan, and that is the most emotional Wolverine story I've read in a long time. Well, not read, seen, just all forms of media. That is the most emotional Wolverine story.
I could see where you're coming from. To me, I feel like those ideas, I don't disagree with them. I still feel like it's a bit too early to play because this is the first Wolverine game.
Yeah, I am a little bored of X-23 plot lines as well.
Yeah, I don't want them to like pretty much like dump truck every single X-Men mythos into this. But what I like about Insomniac, they masterfully do the Easter eggs. They do it really subtly. Whether you collect a backpack and it just so happens to be Nelson and Murdoch's lawyer card, maybe we'll get something similar where maybe Wolverine stumbles upon a lab and he sees like these vials or like these test subjects that so happen to fail. He sees all the numbers with the X and it just so happens X-23 chamber has no subject in it. Maybe that's like the Easter egg, like that's what I'm saying. That's what I like about Insomniac. They know how to weave the Easter eggs into the story really well.
If you do Mr. Sinister, you can tease so many characters. You can do Deadpool through there, who's, he's also on Task Force X, Phantom X, and mostly through Mr. Sinister, you can do Cable. Main guy that you do through Mr. Sinister, my homeboy. I love Apocalypse, and if he shows up, the line saying, "Oh, what's this? This is Project Apocalypse."
I don't disagree with you there. Just a bit too early at this point in time. Because my theory is, right, I think this Wolverine game is going to set up a big team-up game. If you're establishing Wolverine now as the next solo character, and if there are references to X-Men, other X-Men members, easily, Insomniac could set up maybe like in 2035 or however many years later, we'll be getting an X-Men team-up game, like a story-based X-Men team-up game. And I think that would be sick. Because like how we have that Square Enix Avengers game, right? I'm not saying I don't mean to diss them or anything like that, but what if Insomniac is laying the groundwork and it's eventually, like how we got our first few Iron Man 1s and 2s and Thors and Captain Americas, and then we eventually got to the first Avengers movie. What if they're doing something similar like that? But that first team up thing is going to be the X-Men, and I think that's cool. If y'all don't know, the Avengers Tower is in New York, but the Avengers aren't around. No, the Avengers Tower is still there, but the Avengers aren't
West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, West Coast. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe the next group of heroes that are going to step over for the Avengers is going to be the X-Men, which I think might be pretty interesting. That's our speculation on the story aspect. I wanted to talk to you about the gameplay aspect, like whether it be traversal. Like, how do you think they could go about that? Do they have him have his bike like this?
Ultra violent, very, very violent gameplay.
I mean, oh yeah, violent gameplay for sure. Like, I mean, it's Wolverine.
I could see Wolverine using a motorbike. I could see him sort of motorbiking around. I don't see him walking around.
I hope they do some like sort of Days Gone type of traversal. Not like the game Days Gone.
Yeah, and he uses a motorbike.
Yeah, they do a bike play like that. Something not like where you refill like your gas. You have to refill like every now or so, but maybe with that Insomniac flavor. Because my two theories are like, because you brought up, this is what made my second theory. You brought up the fact that, so will this game solely be based in Madripoor, or to me,
yeah,
maybe like whatever this is, right? Or however it may be, Logan can still have his bike or everything like that. Maybe he has his contacts who's like, yo, get my bike to this safe house in Japan. Get my bike into the safe house to wherever. While you don't get bored of one setting, you're able to explore different countries, different worlds, and you get to explore that, whether it be traversal, like you can just ride your bike in the town of Madripoor. Like, that would be sick. Either this game's going to be solely based in Madripoor, like you said, or they're going to make it like almost like maybe somewhat of a globe-trotting adventure, maybe. But all I'm saying is...
But honestly, who knows at this point? I mean...
Yeah, it's early in development.
Everything we said could be completely wrong.
Like a 0.00001% of it would be true. This has only been announced, and they're only still developing this. Like, this is still in the early phase. There's no gameplay yet. There's no trailer footage yet. You're not even seeing an exclusive. You're not even seeing a first look at Wolverine. You're not even seeing the different suits they'll have in the game. Before we end it, I mean, I'm just saying, Insomniac doing Marvel games, I think, should be the way to go. I want to see, well, maybe a Punisher game by Naughty Dog or a Punisher game by Insomniac. Either way, a Punisher game needs to be done. And two more. A Doctor Strange game would be insane. And last but not least, Daredevil needs a game. My boy Daredevil really needs a game. Insomniac's already established Kingpin. Please bring my boy Matt Murdock into the fray. I need some Daredevil right now. I'm excited for the future of Marvel games. I hope you're all too. I mean, this is just an exciting lineup from a really great studio. This caps it off. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, subscribe, because this helps with the growth of our channel. Check out our plethora of content we have out at the moment as well. And please share this with friends, as this will help continue the growth of our channel with your support. As always, thank you guys so much, and take care.